Hey guys, I wanted to make a new video today, and I am going to be cleaning my Nintendo 64. I'm going to get the jumper pack out, and we're going to take out the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 6 special Nintendo screws out. I have the screwdriver set for them. And we're going to open this baby up to clean it. I haven't cleaned it in a couple years, and I think it's about due for a new cleaning. I've had this system now for probably, I want to say 5 years now, give or take. And I cleaned it once when I got it, and since then it's been sitting. I will say I did notice later on that there are a bunch of burn marks on here that aren't supposed to be on here. So this system has been around for probably, I don't know if it's cigarettes or what, but not perfect, but still my first Nintendo 64 nonetheless. So we're gonna open this up and we're gonna take it all apart. These come apart too, separately, so just be careful with these because they'll pop out on you. Alright, once you have the screws removed, you can remove the lid or the top of the system. And here you will find the top mechanism of the reset and start buttons, as well as the cartridge bay. Has a couple screws, you can remove them to clean these fully. You can also pop these little suckers out. So, try not to bust them here. There we go. This is the power button. Hold on one second. There's the power button. And let's see if I can get this reset button out. And there's the reset button. You can clean these. I will remove, now underneath everything is Phillips head screws. So from here on out, it's just Phillips heads. So I'm going to remove the cartridge area so I can clean everything. Make sure all is taken apart, if I can talk today. And then we'll get through to these. There's a bunch of screws on the top RF shield and on the motherboard holding everything in. So you're going to want to take your time when you're taking this apart. So make sure you know what screws go where, essentially. Alright, now the top half is completely taken apart. And now we just got to work on the motherboard, taking it apart in the bottom half. But here are the slots for the dust, to keep the dust out of the system. And here's the cartridge slot, which this can probably be modified, if I remember correctly, so that it can play both Japanese and American games. But I forget how to do that. It's been a minute since I've looked at that. But anywho, now you're going to want to take out all the screws on this RF shield to start, just because this is the topmost piece here, keeping everything together. Okay, I took the RF shield off. I took off another piece, this little piece that's down here. I took that off. You want to remove these 2 screws, all the screws on the sides of the motherboard here, these 2 screws, these 2 screws, and you can pretty much start getting this all taken apart. Like this piece comes off on its own. There's the underside there. And this is a plastic bit from the back of the system. Can take that off and clean it. It's where the AV cables go. And then let's see if I can wiggle this out. There we go. Able to get this off. This is the rest of the RF shield. Get this piece off. And we have the motherboard right here. Let's see here. And the bottom part of the RF shield. There we go. There's the bottom half of the RF shield. And then we have these two pieces here, metal pieces here that hold in the two screws. Let's see if I can, there's one. There's plastic to the power button right down here. Clean that. And then this piece. Clean that. And then that is the whole system of the Nintendo 64. It is dusty quite a bit. Like I said, it's been sitting and been moved so many times since I moved out of my house in 2019. So there's been quite a bit that these systems have been through. So I'm going to clean them up pretty good, get some alcohol. I have 91% alcohol, clean out the cartridge area, and here's the top half of the motherboard here. And there's the motherboard model there. Yeah, this needs a good cleanup from all the dust and the moving and everything. It really needs it. 1997 on the motherboard, so that's probably the year it was made. So we're gonna clean these out pretty good. I have all the screws in their correct places and everything. I'm gonna make sure that this motherboard doesn't touch cloth, because you could short out a capacitor or what have you. I may need to freshen up some of the solder points, but actually they don't look bad. So I'll just leave them be. I'll just give the motherboard a good cleaning along with the cartridge slot and everything, even though it really hasn't seen too much of dust. But I want to make sure that everything's clean and good to go. So this is going to be quite the process, because all the plastic bits and everything, this bottom half, this top half, everything's going to be clean and they're going to be drying. Now these metal pieces I'm going to clean with isopropyl alcohol, but the plastic bits, all of them can be thrown into dish soap. I usually use Dawn dish soap, and clean them, make them dust free, get all the junk out of there and everything. So I will get to the cleaning process of the motherboard and everything next. Alright, first thing I'm going to put back together now that everything's clean and dry and everything are the cartridge slot areas. Now, I will note that there are two differences between these two pieces. One has longer legs and one has shorter legs. So just make sure you put them in the right areas. You can see how the springs are loaded on there, so if you need reference, have at it. But it's pretty self-explanatory putting together. And then, oh, you know, it would help if I put it on correctly. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the two screws here, and we're going to put the cartridge slot back together. I'm also going to put the buttons back in. That'll be it for the top half. It'll be put together and assembled. It's the easiest part to assemble. Alright, now you're going to want to assemble the bottom half, which takes more, but obviously that has the motherboard and everything. So you're going to want to put these pieces back in the way they were. And it's pretty self-explanatory on them. And then you're going to want to put the bottom RF shield in like so. That way it aligns up and everything with how the bottom half is supposed to. I also want to put in, while I'm at it, this is the power light indicator. You have to put it down here. There we go. You want to put it down here, and then that way it lets you know that the power light, the system powers on. And then, after that, you're going to want to align the system, and you're also going to want to put the AV placer right on top of where it's supposed to. I'm going to get this aligned in, and I'm going to start putting it together. Alright, for anyone that needs help putting the top RF shield on, here's how you do it. You put the piece on, Then there's a couple other pieces. You have this piece that goes down here. You have this piece that also coincides and goes on top of this piece, which comes off of this bottom part. Reason I can't move it is because I already started screwing down these two pieces, but I just wanted to show you how these smaller metal shield parts go onto the jumper pack area, just for people that can easily get confused, because the first time I took this apart, I had no idea where the hell this part went. So I'm starting to slowly add everything back in, so give me a minute. Alright, once you get the screws back into the motherboard where they're supposed to be, I can now put my RF shield that's on top here and align it with all of the parts and everything that it needs to, and start putting the screws back in the way that I do. I put them in a diagram so that I can remember where they go, just so that I don't freak myself out on, oh shit, where's everything supposed to go? So you just got to make sure that everything's aligned with where they're supposed to go, and you should be able to put it back together. So I'm going to put the screws back in onto the RF shield up here. Alright, now that the RF shield is all in place, you can now put the top of the system right back on like so. Make sure it's all good. Your lid's fine and everything. Your buttons feel good. And now I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to put the legs back in here. Just like that. And we're going to put the 6 screws back into the bottom of the system here. Alright, now we are going to test out the Nintendo 64. Sorry about the messy TV. Okay. And but you get the gist of it. So it works, it plays, it does everything I want it to, and it's not dusty anymore. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video of me cleaning my Nintendo 64. I'll see ya in the next one.